We have seen today in South Sudan, many peoples, they really have problems. They have degrees and they don't have skills. And we might see, you might see also other people, they have a skill, but they don't have degrees. So it is kind of confusing. Some people resort to say that they don't want to do degrees because they have skills. Okay, and they see themselves that skills can also give them life, and it can also give them money, whatever they want. And that's why in today uh, you can see world is changing, and he's having a university degree is not even enough. Okay, you need to have that skills that will also give you a lot of things. And this is one of the problems that we also uh, make this topic today to discuss the real difference. Brother Cole, welcome to our Call podcast, The Voice of Innovation. I wanted to ask you these questions. You have been a regular guest in this podcast for almost now a time. And now this topic, I want us to digest it exactly for some of our people to see the importance of these two different field. Let's say, what is the real difference between skilled youth and educated youth? What make them real difference? Thank you.
Thank you, my brother Akal, for the question and all our audience. It has been a while. We have never discussed any topic for a while now in this live stream, but I'm happy today that we met again. Our audience, those who are watching us live, we welcome you all on this topic. To answer the simple question that you asked me, the difference between education and skill. Yeah, the skill is something that involves physical and practical. Uh, this is an skill. If someone has an skill, education is something that it also involves practical and theory. That is, you acquire knowledge from a different field. This is an education, whereby sometimes also they have a slight different. Yeah, you can sometimes sit in a class also to attend an education lessons. You can also sometimes sit also in a class also to attend also a skill lessons, whereby sometimes you need to learn. So a skill is a short period, something that you should learn in a short period of time. And education is something that you should learn in a long period of time. That's a very simple understanding, a simple definition for those who are watching us live. For us to understand the simple term, a skill is like being a driver is a skill. You will be uneducated, but you can drive. Uh, sometimes even you can sometimes even build, like even being an electrician, being whatever that you could do, involving practical, not theory. Is kind of a skill that you have learned in a short period of time so that you can survive on for you to live on it. So this is a
Okay,
simple definition I
okay.
can give.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Mark. As you said, that skills sometimes is very important, and also having degree is also very important. And when we see around the world, Brother Mark, we have seen that many successful peoples, they have not went to college. I mean, they went to college, but they did not get the degrees. For example, like Bill Gates, he dropped out of the college. He has never went back, but he viewed the world today. You can see the windows we use, and a lot of things that we use today were really built by Bill Gates. And I don't know what connect degree with the skills. Sometimes you might be having people right now in South Sudan. Some people they don't want to go to college, but they are surviving. They are surviving with their skills. Some people become mechanic. Some people also do other things, but they are really getting money from that. What is your advice to these youth that are really trying very hard to get some money out of them even not going to the college to go to schools and lands and all this, but they're still trying? If you go outside Juba, you may find some people are they are really trying catching fish and all this. Some people are cultivating, so, okay, because it is skills, I think. And I think in Tongwang Lela Katul, somebody who has that skills of catching fish and all this netting and all these things. And I think Brother Call also know something about that. I don't know. Uh, What do you want to tell these people who have never went to schools, but they still have these skills? They have the skills of surviving. Is it a must for them to go to school, or they will just move forward with that skills that they have?
Thank you. You know, in life, there's a shortcut, and there's a simple way also you could live a life. Sometimes people might think life is difficult, but life is not difficult. It depends on you, whether you can make your life difficult or you can make a life easier for you. You know, during my campaign last year when I was campaigning for the leadership, in my objectives, I put capacity building. What I mean by capacity building is the skill, whereby I was saying that if I become the chairperson of One More Power, I must make sure that those young women and men who are willing to survive on a daily basis to cater for their basic needs must have any skill. If you want to be a driver, you go to the driving school and you learn a skill, something of 3 to 2 months. You'll be a driver, and you can depend on that for the long life. If you want to be a mechanic, you can also go to a garage and then you learn that. And so many things that you want, like a tailor, you can also go and learn that one. And for those who have acquired degrees, sometimes, you know, we can look at the situation that the country is in and the term of education that we are in now. So in Africa here, now for us, all we have gone to school, we earn our degrees, but we have studied so many course units. Like me, I studied a public administration, and during my basic degree, I have studied so many units, course units. And in other country like Europe, you can be specialized in one subject, not to study all the other unit that you might not need them maybe in your career. For you to be skillful and be knowledgeable on the field that or the career that you have chosen, you must focus on one thing that for you to study. And the reason why sometimes from these billionaire people that who have dropped out from the school and they have a mind of running a business whereby they have become well off on it, it's because that they have chosen one thing and they understand it more. It is not because maybe they are lucky or any other things. But when you choose one thing, like now you have chosen to focus more on ICT. So it means that now you have a skill on it. Like the stream that we are doing now, live stream we are doing here, it's not everyone that is an IT person can do it. But because you have taken more of your time to focus on the skillful of being an ICT, for you to understand how you could operate it, and so other things that you could specialize on it. Because when we talk about ICT, it has different specialization, but at least you need to pick one, and for you to specialize on that, and that could be your skill, a career that you have a skill on, is someone that might not know. So my advice to the people, those who they have degrees, they have masters, and sometimes yeah, you may have a degree and masters, and you study some course units, so many course units, and you might not even pick one course for you to specialize on it. And anybody that can challenge you on that the field that of your study, someone that will have really gotten a specialization on one course unit and it specialize on it properly. So my advice to the people, yes, you might have a very broad knowledge from different course units, a different field of your studies, different faculties, different school. But the best thing is for you also to have a very short course unit for you to have a skill on it, so that you can at least survive on it. Because you know, having a degree does not having a degree or a master degree does not make you a successful person. Okay, being a successful person, it is when you commit yourself on one thing and something that can at least make a change in life. And I can understand now the coming of AI and so many technology. Some other school and other faculties might not be helpful in whatever. At least you need to have a skill in one thing, whereby people should have a competition, because anything now in life is competition. If you don't have any specialization or a skill and in particular something that you could compete and at least become number one in it, then you might not survive. So my advice to the people is for you at least to focus on one thing, something that you could see it's simple, but you need to have a skill on it. Like business, yes, you might have gone through the studies of doing business administration, finance, banking, and so many on. But one thing here, if you did not do something like a financial literacy or a skill how you can manage the small money, that the capital that you have, you still have a problem to manage a small business. I went for training in 2023 for something called financial literacy, and that financial literacy is how you can at least maintain your finance.
The battle for the crowns is here. The simply said, for the biggest match of the tournament, the defending champion, Ali always is seem like he has problems with connection, but he's going to come back. And the thing we have been discussing about is skill and education. So, and we have people who have degrees, we have people who have skills, but we still don't know which one is really very important. And we have seen that many people are really surviving in these two categories. First category is for you to get a degree in South Sudan. Today, you get a degree and you search for any job that you want, and then you may get it. And of course, today in South Sudan, you may not find persons with the skills and then also with the degrees. Sometimes it's really very rare. You may never find people like that. And this thing is really very important for us to know that people who have degrees sometimes they don't have a skill. But what makes them like that is the problem is their problems, because some people join the college and some people join college but they don't want to further their studies to go forward. And you have seen what Dr. Ting Maya said last week when they were trading some words of debates and all this with Professor John Cage. You have heard what Ting Maya say about the University of Cuba producing people with our degrees and all this. And what came out of that is you've seen that Professor Jones has really responded with what he knows about the university, and that a nation cannot be built with too much talk and all this. This is what has been happening. And let me welcome back Brother Cole. He's now back, and we are going to proceed. Yeah, my name, you're highly welcome back. What happens? You have just. All right.
I made a mistake. My Wi-Fi went off and I didn't
All
know,
right,
but I just
okay.
put it on the charger.
So welcome back. I think you have a point that you have been discussing, and I will give you the floor. Thank you.
Yeah, as I was continuing on where I left before. Sorry for interruption. Like I was saying, scale is something helpful in life, so people should depend on it, so that we might not have this a broader knowledge that from different course unit, and then when you go deeper later on, for those who have a very much skill on one field, they will defeat you in terms of interview. When you are doing an interview, in the competition that you are doing, those people will overcome you because they have more skill. One of them is you. Now you have an example on that. So I'm advising those who have bachelors and masters at least to specialize on one something. Yes, sometimes عشان انت تعرف تكون ميكانيكي كهربجي بناي، يعني في ناس قاعدين يشوفوا ده حاجه يعني ما شغل في حياتهم. but at least انت داير تتعلم يعني امكانيه، عشان لو الشغل بتاع المكاتب لو بقى ما في لازم تشتغل، تعمل بنيان، تشتغل طلبه، تشتغل اي حاجه. لانه the best thing now you could do is to make sure that you provide your basic needs. This is the best thing that someone could do, at least. So I'm advising my people for them at least to learn a skill, And for those leadership of our communities, this is the one thing that we could at least deliver to our people, because so many young men and women now, they could not have an access to education. Because why? Because they could not afford. Maybe the family could not afford from primary to secondary school or university. If you become lucky that to finish your secondary school, definitely you could read and write, you can understand things. It will be easier for you to go for a course, a short course, whereby you could learn a skill, and you can maybe from there you can pick yourself up. You could earn something from that course that you have did, and then you also try also to continue with your education, whereby if you have a dream to have a master's or to have a bachelor, but if you don't have something that to depend on, definitely you will not achieve your dream. So this is one of the short way that I'm advising my people that if you are in primary school, in secondary school, or you didn't even go to school completely, kaya hawul shantamil training training short courses. You go for vocation training, and then you will also be able to provide yourself for anything that you need. And to our communities, those who have community leadership, they have at least prioritizes. And also, if you see now this board communities, this board community, I learned so many things from the leadership, but I'm been seeing them from far, and so many from our community are saying that, because in any leadership that when you come, like I call when you become the chairman of the graduates, at least you have done so many things to train young people. Sometimes someone may have a degree, and then they try to brag of having a degree. I have masters, and now I don't have a job. And Mr. Y with his primary or his secondary school is having that person might have a skill somewhere, and you may not know. You might be judgmental on that person. Yes, he might have a skill somewhere. Maybe he would be better than you because you're having a degree on that field. If you guys go on practical theory thing, on practical thing. But when it comes to theory, you may defeat that person because you have knowledge and you could understand what is going on. You can analyze things. So I'm telling my people that if you become the chairperson of any community, try to initiate the capacity building, because those who cannot have an access to education, try at least collect from what the community have, the contribution of the community welfare and charity, try to bring those people up by giving them short courses, like what you did call like in a call podcast. You have opened a training for computer courses. Yes, other people now you can go to school, you can learn computer, but you cannot operate it practically. Sometimes other people they couldn't even open. Someone finished from university, I can remember some years back. The person couldn't even know how to open a computer. I was wondering. So you need to put things in practical. Yes, we have done from theory.
Okay, thank you so much, Akol. Intelligent edit. In langitin we budot, yeah, call along Tate. Monjang taban jigi dang ci nyaay pay, lang kan garo ci di Tate. Jala pyoj. Ya tingi no ka ben na different karo. Tini Tate kin ki pyoj. Kurin chin pyoj ki in ci Tate. I think when in topic jam ki jemen lonada in Tate lazim mshan betet babot chok bulan ke kwan, then of course ku jala Tate to ke yin chin tendet lu bin to ku dong bin yani ya tinga le call kene ya wujin no bader ko ci ko ni lan ko sometime lan ko ci ko wi ge de pat e para buni bi ran kan got be jala Tate wala Tate e ro yo ke kur alang to ngi mo jang le no ngek ke mana Tate lazim bi dir ke ya Tate yani ken gana ya yogo no ga che ina call le no Tate ke yok ko ke loy on daily basis nyak lan ko loy ko bentem nyak lan ko loy ko bentem ya ben loy e kin zaman kin loy tin inji kin lorok Tate ku ke loy alo baga didi, and that is the problem ino yara be lula wadal hafar bibga hafar I think rena ke tingin wun wen gi cholen ya hafar I think kuna yi tingin wun ke wun ya loy all the time ke lazim bi chan bi practice kuler bulo bana loy kana ya yogo no kayin Tate kuna la din ya gin jala ke lu practice ala barin ki chia master on the skills, so ya winu baga te gitin ko wendai o yok maybe rega bai pan monjang kwa ke pye English chan bi de pa deren the tin gana the tin pa da pay kam pye jara Tate. Thank you.
Apa ini chale cha abaloy to monjang, bete kupye baka tek to. Malay tan ko japing to monjang, we apologize for that. Kuiran tung tung monjang, you will benefit from it. Abaloy dan doctor and an example loy. Dan koi kwandi pun monjang kimit kendo jele mandi ke doctor. Mandi get ya doctor. Taga ke buat ya doctor. Ala gangkaro acan bayar doctor. Ini kan la panapun ba kuen run kada tam. Ku ba wal ba kan ngich. Rian ken twain twain ben ke karal ten. Aja kuen run ka tam ini citok panapun ke pyo chen ni cha cha pyo kan ke wuj ke doctor. Ini jaban pyo tet. Ini jaban pyo tet. Ini jaban la panakim. Ini jala pyo tet. Ran twanya dom kada. Kuyene tom kada. Wal datu kuna la rangen de winde ran wuj ready kada. Ke jalo ka chin gan ke wuj tet kan. Ku tet sa san chiang mon jang je yapo. Tet yapo. Yani tingra kiran chen chimpo ya tet liu. So tet kan ya rang da po. Ngile ngak kala po. Mina kana me wa taran met ana tet ka baji. Ibin ko bu kolbe ran chok. Could I remember when I was young, I think this but the idea or lit ko gale chalga kon. Because bakang ni bako bako ku chawa kon to ka yinda ka chi kong you will not feel like alan kon be be chok completely. Ele chin ele kete de chama kete. Ta por mon jang wa ta lang dan da kwang. Lang dan da twit win wen o ka wa ta chan bi chwe. Ale bi ran ko chwe ko lengi dan de lengi ran te ngi chwe ko chan ko le ko un tu yang ngan bai de lengi wa. Okay. Tet aya kangone ke lo ko aligi ya chi ko jo chi ke galai ko. Kenapa juga juga jiran beri cilai lo ayah kau lika yang lo ini contoh. Kupiah dia kalau jiran men kupiah. When education now, the grammar they are very educated. But when it comes to skill, aku lika lang skill. Ke mana you pun. Cuman menteri na jangan komputer boleh you know operate. Then like stream down lo kan. We jiran dari kilo even I cannot do it. Because the do kan ngai tu bagus ngai ted baru ada kita tu ngai ini ni ted. But when it comes of knowledge, ini cepat mana cepat. Bana jo bana tedi lenga de le bana ted be war lenga de le bana ted be war so kan ne te bana ted ku jara pye bana ted.
Thank you so much, Call. This is really great. Kwaja data pedit. This is a great thing, of course, and that is the difference between skills and knowledge. Of course, yeah, Brother Call, thank you so much for educating our peoples on this topic, because it is one of the very important topics that we need also to discuss and have it in our mind. And, you know, when we come here to talk, you know, we talk because we also need other people to understand what are we trying to say. This is a great thing indeed. Now, this will bring us to some of the discussions that has been going through last week between Professor John Cage and Dr. Ting Mayai of South Sudan National Bureau of Statistics. They were really exchanging some debates, and you have seen that where Ting Mayai say University of Juba is producing graduates without skills, and they are not in the market. So we are not seeing any skillful youth that is in the market, and they are also giving the service to the community. And I think what Dr. Ting Mayai knows about university is that when you are in university and you came out from the university, like what you discussed earlier about being a doctor, okay, you first go to attain knowledge, and then after that you go for some internship. When you are in intern, make sure you are going to learn how to do all these things. These are now a physical practice, so that you know, and that one is a theory. Of course, these people now, some of them, they are now in the market. And I don't know why Dr. Ting Mayai was saying this. Was he saying that, you know, University of Juba mafugu yani talaba علموا الحاجات ده كله مثلا زي driving مثلا زي دكتور ولا and all these engineers and all these things. So I don't know, how do you see University of Juba, Brother Mark? Because University of Juba has been there for some decades right now, and it has been producing many students, and some of us, we are the products of University of Juba. Okay, so I don't know, have you seen many students from University of Juba who are in the market?
Thank you. You know, on that argument, yes, I saw that argument. Even there was a time we got argue on that in our class last week about what Dr. Train talked about it, and we could understand that you know I think Tench, he put something that I think he did not understand well, because he has been a lecturer in the University of Juba, and is now holding a government high position in a government institution. And we can understand that a cage or the University of Juba give you the knowledge, and they also send you for the intensive. That intensive mean skill. So I can understand that if you have been sent to any government institution for you to go and do your intensive, whether you go and you have acquired the skill or not, that one will not be accounted on the University of Juba. The only thing should be accounted on the University of Juba is the knowledge that you have acquired. If they are doubting your knowledge, and I can understand that it's not everyone that would have the same knowledge. Yes, it's better. University of Juba has produced the quality education and quality students, quality graduates all over South Sudan and Sudan when we were Sudan. So it is that a university that people are proud of it, and they know it quality of education. Even at the world ranking, the University of Juba is there; it can compete. But that argument, at least, I think it was something emotional, and then the way I can understand that it was emotional from pain. But if it is in reality, University of Juba done it best. And I can understand that from all these years of the graduate that been produced by University of Juba, they have best student, best professors, and those who are working in the government institution. But for those who are sometimes they have some weak point, it is something in the world. Even in Harvard University, there's this people who can compete, and there's other people who can come and average. So these people, they are always there. So you cannot come and blame the university, because the understanding of someone will be different. You know, the IQ can be different. So you can teach a class of 20 or 30 people on the same subject, but all of them will not understand it the same way. Each and everyone will understand the subject that are different methods that they could. So I can say that argument, the Ukraine was not making a soundful argument for the South Sudanese to benefit from it, because the skill is not acquired from the university. Yes, you get the knowledge and you got the skill from outside. If the University of Juba graduated you, you become a graduate, and then you go and get a skill outside there. That's why sometimes when you're a fresh graduate and you get an employment from any government institution or private institution, they'll have to take you first for training. Go for workshop, you go for training, they take you through for you to acquire a skill wherever you can run your office. So all this thing is a step. Anything needs a step. If you have finished your bachelor from University of Juba, you need also to go and add some practical. You get the theory, but you need also to go and add some practical. Coming to the engineers, because so many could not get the practical, like University of Juba sometimes. Okay, the equipment, because the government lacks so many things. But with time, something will be there. So yes, some engineers and doctors, at least they should have a very good lab, so that they get the knowledge here, and then also to go and do some practical theory and do practical here. Like you see, those students who have been sent back to South Sudan on a scholarship, sometimes the problem here, because our secondary school here could not have, they didn't have laboratory, whereby a secondary school student must do theory. If you are a science student, you have to do some practical at secondary school. So when you come to university, it can make it easy for you to understand it. So when you are in the secondary school, you need to learn all so many things at the secondary level. So when you go to university, you are just trying that to learn on whatever that you have come through at your primary school or your secondary school. But if you are clueless from primary to secondary school, and then at the university, you need to be given something that you have never come across it will be difficult for you. And sometimes people may say that it is because that these are people of matured and people whatever. But these are sometimes that scenario it can happen. Somebody you have been in primary school, secondary school, you have never seen a library in your life, and you choose to be a science student. It will be difficult for you. You go to another country, it will be difficult for you to understand. Some other neighboring countries also they have problems. They need you to learn the local language. Okay, like those who have been sent to China, they will tell you that you have to learn China for 1 year, and all the classes that you are going to attend, they have been given to you through Chinese language. So it's sometimes also those other things is difficult for a student to understand that. So I'm also asking South Sudanese also and the government official to see the type of scholarship that we are sending our student to, because this country, is it familiar to the student to learn the language of those other countries, or they are not? If English is the basic language that people could at least start the class with, it's okay. A student will be sent from here because you have from English background. Then you can go there. It will be simple for you. But I still we encourage that our secondary school might at least try their best to have luck. If any science student trying to sit for their secondary certificate, they should at least learn some technical and theory things from the school.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Cole. Of course, South Sudan is really going through a lot of things, and we have been seeing some of the things that are really hindering education system in South Sudan. And of course, if we are talking about skills, so we must also reach government, because it is the overall of the issues that we are seeing around. You know, we might be having a student right now who need to do some internship. Okay, let's say University of Juba is having many students, like thousands of students who want to graduate, maybe in 5 years, in 5 months to come, or in 6 months to come. They want to graduate from the college. And of course, as you said earlier, that if you want to graduate from university, what do you need first? You need to go to internship so that you learn some practical skills in order for you to do the job done. Now we have seen that government of South Sudan is not prioritizing the institutions. We are not seeing institutions practicing transparency. Now, if you see, we have many students who want to do internship in ICT, who want to do internship in statistics, they want to do internship wherever that you see. But we are not seeing transparency in that place. So and this is what I really blame Dr. Ting about what he says, that we are not seeing skillful youth. And I don't know how will these people learn skills if and government is not prioritizing the institutions. So this is one of the questions that we should ask as students of University of Juba and as a products of University of Juba. So the government first should prioritize to strengthen the institutions. Therefore, now the students will just go to the institutions and then go and do some internship right there. It has a much of the Juba teaching hospital there. So you will see that there are a lot of problems there. الدكاتره دول كلهم قادرين يمشوا هناك عشان يعملوا internship وشنو ده كله. Again, if you go there, some of the things even are not there. How will you know them? And those who are learning now, those chemies, biologies, and all this, because we have now College of Applied Science, that ده كله مليان بكيميات or biology and all this. These people, they want to go to internship, but where will they go when there is no lab, as you said earlier? Okay, يعني ده حاجات نحن دايرين نتكلم so that we know how are we going to bring them into contact with the government and also the learning institution like University of Juba and Upper Nile University. And I know Dr. Ting, he doesn't want to touch Upper Nile University because University of Juba is the main university now producing thousands of students over the year. I think this is one of the problems, and we have to digest it. We need also to appeal to the institution, government, to the government in order to strengthen all these institutions. So institutions are to you will get that internship and you try to work, try to learn skills. Because if you go later on, you are going to work somewhere else because you have learned the skill already. And now you just come out from university and you don't know even the skills. You have not even went to internship and all these things. So you will just confuse, as you said. Okay? Wana kaman analog fi asas, I mean, if I'm in primary, if I'm in secondary, I mean, which is the high schools, and there is no lab, okay? And then I'm coming to university where there is no lab as well. And people used to teach me something that even I've never seen. And I used just to hear about all this. And this thing doesn't make sense, Brother Cole. And we are feeling for the government to strengthen all these things. That is one of the reasons we brought this. Now, our next question is going to be about the AI. You have experience in public offices. You have experience in your field right now. you are now working, okay, with institutions and all this. So, and you are also in university. You are also one of the intellectuals that we also see in our society. And of course, now you have seen how the world is moving. The world is moving today. It is moving very fast. Are you seeing? Are you telling us right now that the university degree is not more important today with this knowledge of artificial intelligence and whatever thing that we see? Are we supposed to go to schools, or we should just use artificial intelligence to strengthen our life and move forwards and leave all these things out there? Is university degree very important today in this 21st century, Brother Cole?
Yeah, it's much important because why I'm saying this AI is also been artificial. It's also been created by people who have knowledge, advanced knowledge. It does not create itself together. So if we want to create more things and technology to advance itself, we need to acquire more knowledge. And more knowledge need a learning process. Uh, you know, AI, yes, it has come, and sometimes lazy people sometimes focus on it much, but they couldn't understand that AI sometimes is really right. But if you focus and do your thing by your own, you will find a big difference from AI thing. And the problem here, especially in South Sudan, we have problem in English. And I can commend if Dr. Ting could have at least commend by saying that University of Juba is graduating graduate without the English. We can support that. Yes, we can support that because some other student, yes, if someone is speak, the crowd can move, but when it comes to writing, they will defeat you. They can write very well. So this is something people also could understand, and we can understand that English is not our mother language, and that's why sometimes I tell people that if you see someone is uh, does not know how to speak English well, just a commitment. Try yourself to speak, and then you also practice and do things because English is not your mother tongue, and you don't need to be ashamed on that. But at least you need to practice. More practice can make perfect. Yes, but now we can understand the AI now is taking over. But still, we need to learn more. Go to university, do some practical, do some theory, understand the story, and understand the system, how the world is working, how the world is going. Even for you to understand AI more, you need to have knowledge. Those people in the village who do not know how to read and write, do they know what AI can write? They don't know. They cannot even operate AI. Even for you to operate AI, you need to go to school. If you cannot go to school, how could you operate AI? So all these things need knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Education is very important. We still need.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brother Cole, for these wonderful discussions. You know, today it has been really the words are really flowing, and we are blessed to have a rains and we are talking to these South Sudanese people today, and this discussion is really making sense to peoples of South Sudan. Our next questions now to Brother Cole is going to be uh, which which one is more important for national development, Brother Cole, between the practical skills and also educations, let's say, like getting knowledge from University of Cuba or just strengthen the institutions without practical skills. So what do you see that is going to give South Sudan benefits if people of South Sudan or government of South Sudan prioritize it? Which one do you see is going to make impact to South Sudan? Now, if you see today in South Sudan, you can see that South Sudan is not focusing on technology, rather called. You are saying that, and technology is one of the practical skills that we need to embrace. But South Sudan is not investing in that. South Sudan is investing in different things. It's investing in sports. You have seen the cabinet approve like 3 billions, 3 millions United States dollars to sports. All right. And all these things, they have been approved by the cabinet, and they are going to release this money to relevant institutions, and they're going to take this money. And you see, that is the sports South Sudan is focusing on. South Sudan is not focusing on technology. South Sudan is not focusing on industry. South Sudan is not focusing on infrastructure. So what do you want to say about that? Do you want to tell us that South Sudan today needs educations more than practical skills?
South Sudan need a technical education. It's not only education, need a technical education. When I talk about technical education, is the skill. You are technically well informed about your field based on the technology. And I can tell you, any country to have a development like what you said, that a national development, you need to have a technical education. If the citizen of South Sudan, if at least 80% could acquire technical education, they can contribute to the national development. In any country, for you to be respected all over the world, you must have a very strong system of the military. Okay, if we can talk now, our soldiers, there is no technical education. If they could at least try now to build a very good system for our military, a defense system. If you need to build a defense system for your country, you need to have a technical education. You need to have knowledge, skill about the technology that is being developed in now and then for you to understand also the other technology of other countries. And those things need technical education. Is not just a theory that you could acquire that you have knowledge, but you couldn't understand. Yes, you might acquire education, but without technical education, you won't understand anything. Technical education is like what you are doing now, I call. So someone is an IT, but he does not know what is going on there in this live stream. He cannot access the information in this app. But someone like you now, you have a technical education, you can access, the information in that one. So our military should also be built on a technical education, whereby a system of the defense must be a very strong system, not by just taking the money and we say that doing this, but absolutely yes, there is an average education, but technical education is not that. And this is what so many people are doing now. So many people, South Sudanese, yes, they have masters, they have degree, PhD, but absolutely nothing. That then cannot contribute to the development of the nation. Because when it comes to reality, that papers that you have, they're just nothing. You don't know what is going on. You cannot go deeper in terms of technical education. Someone may come from different countries and they feed you whatever that you're going to develop. If you want to develop any small system or app, you cannot develop because you don't have a technical education. But if you have a technical education, you can develop. Like if I talk about the military system, education system, and whatever finance system, that one need a technical education for you to have a very good system to develop, whereby other people cannot access it through technology. But and if someone access your system, and then you have also to understand that someone has access to your system. But you can see now all in our government institution here, most of the government institutions have been controlled by foreigners because foreigners, they have this technical education, and whatever they are doing there, you might not know. They will just come and tell you the theory. We have done this, we have done that, we have done, but you may not know what is going on there, inside there, what they have taken, and what is left for you, the government. That one is a problem. So government must invest. Because last time there was a debate we did, I said, okay, when a government at least have to sponsor some student to the other countries outside, those government must put more effort on those students for them to have a technical education. And after they come back, they have to serve the government properly, but putting more effort on the government institution for them to build a government institution. Yes, but the government now, you can spend money on the student for so many years trying to acquire knowledge because they understand. So many South Sudanese here have technical education, but they are not being given chance for them to practice that, put that in action. So, and after your government that put a lot of money on the student, and after they come back to their country with the knowledge, we can just redundant them. These people are now moving on the street. Someone with technical education, you leave that person for 5 to 10 years, he will forget. Absolutely will forget. He will forget. Okay. You have spent so much money on the student, and after they have graduated, you just come and return them. And you are giving chance to those people who cannot even have knowledge. They just receive a shallow theory, and they say that yes, we are educated, we can run the government, but they don't know.